Hey everyone, the last couple of weeks I've been getting a lot of new DVDs and Blu-Rays, and I was gonna save some of them up to do like a thrift store finds video, but I just found way too many to go over in like just one video like that, and there was all these other DVDs I wanted to talk about, so I'll just talk about just a whole bunch of them at once. So where should I start? Right here we got the oldest DVDs I've been waiting to talk about. So, whoa, stuff falling over here. Okay, first up we got Frosty's Winter Wonderland, which also includes 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, which is that Christmas special with the mice. I like that one. I grew up with that one. I did not grow up with Frosty's Winter Wonderland, so I'm kind of curious to check that one out. And this was a really cool thing. Duck Dodgers Season 1. This is kind of getting to be a tricky DVD to find. It's not too hard to find it, and recently they put out a Blu-ray complete collection of all of Duck Dodgers, but this was still cool to find. I found this at a Rite Aid. They're having a sale on DVDs, CDs, video games, 3 for $5. Yeah, anything. Doesn't matter how much it was originally, it's all 3 for $5. So I got this, and I was like, oh, well, it was like $8 normally. I might as well look for something else to tack on. So I was looking through what else they had, and they didn't really have anything else that was interesting to me, so I took a couple of DS games and traded them in at a video game store. They weren't really worth a whole lot. It was a Bakugan game and Michael Jackson The Experience. Whatever. So yeah, cool to find this for $5, plus get a couple of games thrown in with it. Oh, a bunch of stuff fell down here. Okay, next up, I found a thrift store with a whole bunch of Batman stuff. So I got this Batman double feature. It has Batman Beyond the movie, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, the original uncut version. I don't know what that means. And then Batman Mystery of the Batwoman. I'm not sure what that one has to do with Batman Beyond. I think they just had extra space, so they decided, yeah, just toss that on, who cares? I don't know too much about Batman, but I do remember watching the Batman cartoons when I was a kid and liking them a lot. Oh, cheapo box, nice. And Batman Beyond in particular, I remember watching quite a bit of. And I had some comics of Batman Beyond, and I really liked it. Okay, next up we have another Batman triple feature. This one has Batman Unlimited movies. Let's see, Animal Instincts, Monster Mayhem, Mechs vs. Mutants. I know Animal Instincts because I don't remember why, but at some point in the past I was looking up about Dana Snyder, the voice actor, and different roles he had. His most famous role is Master Shake on Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and he was also the voice of the Penguin in Batman Unlimited. So I looked up some clips of Animal Instincts, which I think was the one that had him in it. So I've seen some of that, and it was really good. And then Batman the Animated Series, Season 1, or Volume 1. I don't know if it's like the actual Season 1, but it says Volume 1. So that was cool to find. Plus, it was only $2. So yeah, a pretty good deal. I don't know if I really want to collect all of the original Batman cartoon, because, like, again, I remember watching it as a kid, I really liked it, but for whatever reason, DC stuff just hasn't really appealed to me. However, when I do sit down and watch some of the, like, old cartoons, like the 90s DC stuff, I do usually enjoy myself. So, next up, we have this thing, Martial Arts Master, The Life of Bruce Lee. This is a documentary about Bruce Lee, I guess. I have never seen it, I haven't watched it yet. I kept seeing this for sale at the thrift store, and it's been there for like a year and a half, and nobody's picked it up, and I was waiting for like it to go on sale or something, but it never did. So I figured, okay, well, you know what, I'm just gonna get it, because I had some extra change in my pocket. I like Bruce Lee movies. Bruce Lee documentaries are a little weird, because sometimes they're really fascinating. There's a lot of really cool information and behind the scenes of different movies, or they'll show some of his childhood movies, which that's really cool to see. I kind of wish we could see more of that. However, sometimes they kind of start out as a Bruce Lee documentary, and then halfway through they kind of forget what they're supposed to be about, and they shift focus to be about something else entirely. It's happened more than once in Bruce Lee documentaries I've seen. Okay, next up, a thing I found at the thrift store, Meet Pingu. Yeah, I didn't know there were Pingu DVDs in the US. Let's see, I don't really know too much about Pingu. Oh yeah, one of the little teeth here that is supposed to lock in the DVD is, like, bent in a weird way. So, oh, they're both like that. That is... I'm gonna have to switch the box out, because it's not really broken, like, it stays shut, but man, that is weird. I don't really know how that happens. Anyway, Pingu, I first heard of this when, let's see, a couple of years ago, I Hate Everything. I think it was I Hate Everything, did a video about childhood trauma, and he talked about an episode of Pingu with a very disturbing looking walrus that pops up, and yeah, that was pretty freaky, but, like, I had never heard of Pingu before. I'd heard, like, the newt-newt noise, so it must be there was some, like, cultural osmosis over here. Like, let's see. Where does Pingu come from? Was Pingu, like, a British show, or was it, like, Japanese or Australian or something? It's stop motion, I know that, but I don't really know much else about it. I know it's like a penguin goes on cute little adventures, and there's not a lot of depth to it. Okay, moving on. Let's see, I went to... Crap, I don't remember what it was. Some kind of estate sale or something. And there was a bunch of boxes of DVDs, and they were all just the most absolutely tepid garbage imaginable. Like, just, ugh. Like, whoever owned all... Who paid for all these? They wasted their entire life on this crap. Anyway, but I did find Magma, Volcanic Disaster, which normally I wouldn't really care about. Oh, it's a, like, rando volcano disaster movie, but it has Amy Jo Johnson in it. There she is on the back there. So, I can add this to my collection of DVDs I only bought because they happen to star a Power Rangers actor. And then this is cool, Snoopy's Reunion. I found this at one of the thrift stores, I think. I don't remember now, actually, where I found this. I think it was at one of them. So anyway, I really like these old Peanuts specials. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are kind of weird. They're still making kind of weird Peanuts specials, actually. So anyway, when I was reading the original comic strips, I remember back in middle school, they had this big Peanuts collection called the Golden Celebration, I think. It was for its 50th anniversary or something like that. And one of the things I really liked in that was all the comics with Snoopy's relatives. So I was really glad to find this because I really like all of Snoopy's relatives. I think they're really cool characters. And also, this has a couple of bonus features. There's a whole other special on here, Flash Beagle. And then there's a featurette voice cast reunion. That'll be interesting. And then this is a cool thing. The Island of Dr. Moreau from Olive Films. This is the 1977 Dr. Moreau Island of Lost Souls remake movie, whatever. I saw this when I was a kid. I probably shouldn't have been watching this when I was a kid. It says PG, but then again, it's 1977 PG when that actually meant something. So this is full of pretty disturbing graphic imagery, plus there's some sensuality scenes with this guy and this girl taking off their clothes and getting frisky with each other. Oh, and there's a booklet in here. That's really cool with, like, some interviews and essays and behind-the-scenes images and all that cool stuff. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, there's a commentary on this. That was really neat. I listened to that the other night. Pretty informative, lots of interesting stuff about the making of this movie. And let's see, then there's there's an essay included, or it's like a featurette. I don't remember now. I didn't actually watch all the bonus features on here. But yeah, cool movie. My favorite Island of Dr. Moreau movie that I've seen so far. I've only seen 2. Okay, what do I want to talk about next? I guess I'll talk about this. This was really cool to find. I found this one thrift store. They have a whole bunch of... they had a room full of DVDs. They were $2 each. Then they had season sets that were like $4 to $5 each. And they had a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff. So I have the complete Clone Wars collection DVD set, but a few of the discs don't work that well. The very first disc, every episode plays just fine, until the last one, then it just gives up and decides it doesn't want to live anymore, and my DVD player spits it out. So, yeah, I was really lucky to find Season 1 of the Clone Wars individual, and I watched the first disc. It all works, it's fine, so that's cool. I can replace that one. And also cool, this came with like a little booklet that's an episode guide, plus like a little art full of concept art images for the show. That is really neat. 4 discs, it's the whole thing. It comes in this weird book packaging. That's kind of neat, I guess. And then, aside from Clone Wars, they also had all of Star Wars Rebels. At least I think it's all of it. So here's Season 1 on DVD, and then Season 2 on Blu-ray. Okay, it was the only Star Wars Blu-ray they had, aside from Force Awakens. They had a Blu-ray of that, but I didn't get it. And then, let's see, Season 3 on DVD, and then Season 4 on DVD. So I think that's all of Rebels. On the back of Season 4, it does say 4th and final season. So, and, let's see, I've been watching the Ahsoka show. Oh, that's something with this. This was still sealed. Isn't that crazy? So this one was there for $4, and it's never even been opened. So anyway, I was watching Ahsoka, and I really liked it, but at the same time, I was like, it's not really a standalone show like the other Star Wars shows have been. The other ones, you can kind of just jump in and understand what's going on, but with Ahsoka, it really feels like you need to have watched Rebels, so yeah, that's nice to have all of Rebels on DVD, so I can finally get to watching that, and I'll be able to understand all the context in Ahsoka and why it matters that this guy is dead or not, and who this person is and who that person is, and why this guy doing this thing is important, and all that. It's weird. I've heard people say that Ahsoka is like a good standalone show, or it's a good like entry point, and I really don't think it is. Like, it's a good show, but I think it really should have been called like Rebels season, whatever the next season after the last season of Rebels is. Is Season 4 the last Rebels season? Please tell me in the comments. Okay, next up, Night of the Living Dead, the remake, directed by Tom Savini, so that'll be interesting. Let's see, never seen this. Let's see, I have seen Night of the Living Dead 3D, and Night of the Living Dead Remastered, the John Russo, like, director's cut version. But, yeah, I've never seen this particular remake. Let's see, when was this made? Does it say? 1990. Okay, so, yeah, maybe there's some cool stuff in here. I know I've heard about the Night of the Living Dead remake, but I can't remember a thing about it. I'm pretty sure I've never watched it. And then this I got today, Bugville, a Max Fleischer animated classic. I first heard of this on one of the Looney Tunes Golden Collection documentary featurettes. There was like a featurette all about Fleischer Studios, and one of the things they talked about was Bugville, and I thought, oh, that looks kind of cool. And so I was trying to find this, and I finally found a copy. It looks, okay, the artwork on the cover is pretty yuck. Like, I really don't know why they didn't just take images straight from the movie, though I'm thinking maybe it's not in the best of quality. Anyway, it says, let's see, plus bonus Max Fleischer cartoons. And on the back we have Ants in the Plants, You Can't Shoe a Horsefly, and 2 for the Zoo. I know Ants in the Plants, that one's all about, there's an anteater kaiju basically ruining the lives of these little ants, and the ants are trying to fight back against the anteater kaiju monster. Yeah. It's probably not as cool as I'm making it sound in my head. And I just got this today, a couple hours ago in fact, Extreme Dinosaurs, the complete series on Blu-ray from Discotech. This is frickin' awesome. Let's see. I immediately picked up their Street Sharks Blu-ray. It was amazing, beautiful Blu-ray set, definitely worth getting. So far, I have not been disappointed with anything Discotech has done. Everything they've done, they put 110% in, and Extreme Dinosaurs, I'm sure, is no different. One of the interesting things, it doesn't mention Street Sharks anywhere on this, which on the one hand, I kind of get, because Extreme Dinosaurs completely rebooted once it spun off into its own thing and was separate from Street Sharks. But on the other hand, they kind of promoted this as, like, it's a sequel to Street Shark, so I don't know. Whatever. Extreme Dinosaurs. I have never seen all of it, actually. I watched the first episode. I watched the first couple of episodes. Then there were a couple way later on. I had a few tapes of it. It was all pretty good, and from what I remember, it was better than the majority of Street Sharks. So, let's see. I'm looking at the... Developed by Martha Morin. She worked on Street Sharks. Some of the cast, looks like, was kept over from Street Sharks. We got Lee Tokar back. Oh, Gary Chalk is in this. I forgot. Was he this guy, or was he the bad guy? I can't remember. Okay, next up, let's see what else. And then I got these a while ago. Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I actually had Volume 2 back when it first came out, and it was only $10. Boy, that was quite a time. Anyway, my sister had a friend, and he saw this, and he was like, "Oh man, I love that show," and we were talking about it, and like he had grown up with it, and at the time, this was a dirt cheap DVD. It was in the $5 bin at Walmart. So I was like, "Hey, you want it?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And so I gave it to him, and then he disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't know what happened to him, but he took my DVD with him. So, yeah, so after that, I was like, oh, well, I'll just get another one. So I go to Walmart, I'm digging through the $5 bin, it's not there. So I go on Amazon, it's not there. I go to eBay, there it is. It's $132. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, Samurai Squad, crazy rare now, even though it was a budget release initially. I don't know what sense that makes. And the weirdest thing is that Volume 2 is still cheap. You can get this one for like under $20. You can get it for under 15. This one, it was tossed in with this. This one was up on eBay. I had it on my watch list for like a couple years now, and a copy finally came up for a price I was willing to pay for it, and the seller tossed this in with it just for the heck of it, because hey, I'm paying a lot for this. You might as well toss in the thing that cost them, like, nothing. I don't know why exactly this one is cheap and this one is, like, out of print and crazy rare. Like, there's not really a big change or anything in these. Like, the tone is the same in all the episodes. The only thing that changes, really, is the character Amp is gone later on in Samurai Squad. Late in Samurai Squad, there's a character named Amp who leaves, and he's replaced with a character named Lucky in the later episodes. And Lucky's cool, I like him, but man, he's just not... He doesn't have the likability that Amp had, I think. Okay, moving on to the next thing. I got a lot more stuff here. Okay, whoops. I got the Hong Kong or Chinese or whatever Blu-ray of Power Rangers Once and Always. And it opens up like one of those Malaysian DVDs. That's cool. See, there's a bunch of stuff here in Chinese I can't read. Blu-ray slides out there. Let's see. Oh, and there's an extra spot for another disc for some reason. Okay. Weird. I don't know why... Why didn't they just toss in a DVD? Like, they could say it's a DVD Blu-ray, like, double pack or something. I don't know. Anyway, there's a bunch of weird stuff on the back. Like, it says, let's see, letterbox. It's in widescreen. Letterbox is when you take full screen and then put the black bars on it and pretend it's widescreen. That's not what this is. Let's see. And then the weirdest thing is this little NTSC Region 3. That doesn't make any sense. It's a Blu-ray. Blu-rays don't even have region numbers. They have region letters. Anyway, this plays fine on both of my Blu-ray players. Let's see. Also, it says PG-18. Is that like a rating in China or Hong Kong or something? Because I don't know what that means over here. Does it mean PG, but then also it's like 18 plus or something? Okay, whatever. I don't know what that means. Moving on, Looney Tunes Collector's Choice, Volume 2. This was really cool. A while ago, let's see, I think for Christmas, I bought the first volume, and I really loved it, so I immediately picked up the second one. There's a ton of really cool stuff on here. I just watched all this last night, and one of the cool things with this, there's a whole bunch of really obscure Looney Tunes cartoons that I remember seeing on, like, those old public domain tapes that they used to put out back in the 90s. I Want to Be a Sailor brought back a ton of memories. Okay, moving on. I got some Sonic stuff. Adventures of Sonic, the complete series from Discotek, and, let's see, the Sonic X Japanese language collection from Discotek. This was really cool to find, because, let's see, Adventures, big fan of Adventures. That was the one I saw the most of when I was a kid. I didn't see a whole lot of the Sad-Am cartoon. I mostly saw this. And then Sonic X. I love Sonic X. I don't really like the English version much anymore. When I was a kid, I liked it. As I got older, though, like a while ago, I tried rewatching it, and the stock music really irritated me. The stock music really doesn't seem to be a problem for anybody else, but for me, like, repetitive music is especially grating for some reason, so it really hard to get through some of the English versions. So the Japanese version is a lot more tolerable. The music is, like, they still have, like, music cues and recycled music they'll use, but it's nowhere near as bad as in the American version. Okay, what next? Let's see. Speedy Delivery. Serving Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood since 1967. This is a documentary hosted by, what's his name? David Newell, who played Mr. McFeely in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And I was a big fan of Mr. Rogers when I was a kid. Oh, and, oh yeah. I got a little letter from the producers of this, even though I bought it on eBay. Must be they have an eBay store or something. So anyway, really cool if you're a fan of Mr. Rogers. There's a lot of neat behind-the-scenes stuff and explanations of certain things about the characters, certain episodes, and all that. There's a commentary with David Newell and the director, producer. There's some featurettes, and I haven't watched any of that yet. I've watched the movie itself, but none of the bonus features yet. And I just got this today. American Carney, True Tales from the Circus Sideshow. Opening narration by Penn Jillette. Okay. So it's like a documentary about sideshow performers in the modern-day circus. You can see some people back there. Sounded interesting. I looked at it and I was like, do I want to get this? And I saw, yeah, Penn Jillette. Yeah, sure, I'll get it. Okay, and this is a new thing I just got today. Queer Duck the Movie. I've heard of this from the Simpsons commentary tracks and the Futurama commentary tracks. Some of the writers or people behind Simpsons and Futurama back in the 90s, early 2000s, apparently some of them also worked on this thing, Queer Duck, which apparently was a series, because on the back, there's a thing that says, Queer Duck is back in his first feature-length, no-holds-barred comedy and musical. So, was this a TV show before it got turned into a movie? Like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, was this really a TV show? Okay, I don't know, it looks more like an indie animated flick. It doesn't really... One of the 100 greatest cartoons of all time, BBC television. Okay, like, I'm looking at the voice cast. Conan O'Brien, Tim Curry, Bruce Valanche, David Duchovny, Andy Dick, Maurice LaMarche, Kevin Michael Richardson, Billy West, Jeff Bennett, Estelle Harris, Mark Hamill. Huh. Well, it'll be interesting to watch, I guess. I don't know what to expect from this. Okay, and two things left. Space Sheriff Sherivan, I got this the other day. Again, from Discotek, the complete series on Blu-ray. Frickin' awesome. They're doing a great job with their Blu-ray sets. See, I still gotta get Kamen Rider Black RX. I thought I ordered it, but it hasn't come yet, and I can't find, like, a receipt for it anywhere, so must be I didn't order it. Anyway, Sherivan, frickin' awesome. I love getting some older Metal Heroes and just Tokusatsu in general out over here. One of the really cool things, Sherivan isn't a series that was ever adapted over here. It was never used in VR Troopers or or anything. Although some of the toys apparently came out over here. I remember on Twitter seeing apparently some of the Shirvan toys were put out over here, and they just retitled them to something else. And they didn't have the guy, they just had like a motorcycle or something. And then last up we have Digimon, the original Japanese language collection, again from Discotech. Freaking amazing, I love this. This is just so freaking cool to have. Like, finally we have the Japanese version and the English version of Digimon both available over here. At least, kind of. The first volume is apparently getting scarce because it's going out of print soon. It's really too bad they can't keep, like, such a, like, historically relevant anime, like, in production. Anyway, one of the really nice things on the inside of it, they have, let's see, the remaining kids pictured and featured on the discs. So that's really cool. The first volume had 4 discs like this one, and it had 4 of the kids. And then this one has the other 4 kids from Season 1. That's really cool. And, let's see. Clean opening endings, episode ending cards, alternate next episode previews, promos, art. Okay, not really too much bonus features-wise, but that's not really why anybody would get this. They're getting this for the show itself, and they did a great job with this. Subtitles are great, picture quality is great, everything's perfect with this. So, yeah, those are all the DVDs I've gotten lately. Hope you enjoyed this. See ya.